Hi, welcome to my allotment update. It's the beginning of May, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I've been doing and why gardening is so good for me. Beginning of the week I felt incredibly anxious, and in case you've never experienced anxiety, it's pretty debilitating. It makes it difficult to eat, it makes it difficult to concentrate. Your thoughts are jumping from catastrophe to catastrophe, and it's really difficult to handle. Anyway, it kind of just envelops your brain, and it's horrible. But what I'm finding is that just the act of coming down to garden gives me something to focus on. And even though I wasn't that productive at the beginning of the week, it was a lot better than staying at home or just sitting at home and worrying about surviving, basically, in this climate. So let me tell you about what I've been doing. I finished doing this lovely path, my stepping stone path. I really love stepping stones. There's something really magical and wonderful about it, and it's also helping me to not compact the ground too much, because, as I've mentioned before, it's a really waterloggy plot. Right, so let's see, we'll start in the polytunnel. We'll start here with my fruit cage. The fruit bushes are doing well, except the summer raspberries are still sticks, and I've been watering them and trying to care for them, and I've just mentioned it to the nursery I bought them from. So I've asked them whether they can give me a replacement or a refund, because I planted these 3 here, and I planted a couple on in my son's garden, and none of them have struck. The autumn raspberries are doing okay, they're not great, and the blackcurrant is doing really well. So it's not, I don't think, what I've done. I think it was just probably a bad batch or something. So the clover is starting to grow here. This is all going to be lawn, this little bit here, and my son's, I'm hoping, is going to put his hammock up, so this will be a lovely space to sit, as well as to protect my fruit bushes. We'll go into the polytunnel in a minute. I'm just going to walk around and show you the lovely things happening. These are so beautiful. These are geraniums, like a wild geranium. Bluebells are lovely. My campanula's coming up. Aquilegia coming up. Lots of mints coming back. This is all, it's a lot of it is bulbs, but it's also to keep all the weeds at bay. Because if I didn't do this, this would just be brambles and nettles, dock, and yeah, I prefer this. Plenty of space for wildlife, plenty of flowers for insects, and I'm going to be taking these white bells out because they will take over and stop the bluebells coming back. Absolutely love this periwinkle. It's a really useful herb as well. Yarrow's coming back. Jacob's ladder is double the size it was last year, which is fantastic. So yeah, like I've mentioned, I've got a plan for this wood along here, and it doesn't include burning, because I think that's really bad and wrong to have bonfires on allotments, when there are alternatives that you could be doing. So along here, Let's see, I've put some wildflower seeds along here in the front. I've put wildflower seeds here, all along the side here, and I'm just keeping them well watered. And I've put a bit of mulch on them. I'm developing this bed along here so that I can grow my beans and peas and other little climbers up here to make it a little garden room. I've transplanted this lawn from where I've dug out another flower bed, and again I'm keeping that well watered so that it will flourish there. Let's see, the Strantia is doing beautifully. Lady's mantle is just starting to revive, it really didn't like being moved. This is still my mysterious shrub, which is pretty exciting. I know I mention the lungwort every time, but I'm very pleased with it. So I've dug this bed out here, and this is all going to be flowers, and also edible flowers and edible things along here, as well as beautiful flowers for the insects and for me. And again, it also keeps the brambles and nettles and other weeds that will just take over at bay. Let's see here, this aquilegia is just about to start flowering, which is really exciting because I love aquilegia. This mandara, bergamot, it's just starting to come up. I had to remove quite a lot of one of the hollyhock plants because it was really it's had that yellow rust on it, so I didn't want it to spread onto this plant too badly. I know it is a problem with hollyhocks, but I want to give this one the best chance possible. This beautiful perennial mallow is coming back. I really love it. This marshmallow, you can actually use the roots when they get big enough to make your own marshmallow powder, which makes original marshmallows. I've put lots of wildflower seeds, and well, actually these were edible green border seeds that I popped here. That looks like mustard to me, but I'm not sure. And this is also, I've put lots of mint roots here, so I'm hoping that the mints will be growing there. The lawn that I dug up to put the stepping stones in is doing really well. I've been keeping it well watered. Let's see, along here, this is all doing well. I transplanted this winter sorrel. At last my hyssop's coming back. The other two, I cut them too hard back and they pretty much died. Let's see, I'll give you a little view of the whole plot. That's how it's looking at the moment. So I'll take you into the polytunnel and show you what I've got growing in there. I'm very pleased with this clearer plastic. I think it's going to do my plants really well to be in here with this clearer plastic, not the Lumisol. So these tomatoes are doing really well. Aubergines are just starting to get going. It has been a really cold spring, so hopefully this bit of warmth will really help. I repotted the Cape gooseberry. The soil I put them in was just really bad for them. It was too claggy. They don't like very rich soil, and their roots need to be able to move freely through the compost. And it's compost without any any addition that I usually put in my compost for potting on. It's just the plain compost. finally managed to repot my peppers, so I have high hopes for them. And they're all in pale coloured pots because apparently they don't like the roots getting hot if you put them in black pots. I've brought my dahlias down and I've popped them into little pots. These are all my beans. I think it's mainly beans and peas in here. Yeah. I ran out of labels, so I'm just going to have to be pleasantly surprised by what comes up, and hopefully I'll be able to ID them when they do. Let's see, a friend gave me this herb fennel, which took a little while and a lot of watering, but it's coming back. So I'm really looking forward to having some gorgeous floaty fennel here. My grandson really loves eating the flowers, or he did last summer, so we'll see what happens this summer, but I really love them too. I've replanted the sedums that were above the compost bay because I'm doing something different, which I'm going to be coming to in a minute. The newts are really happy in there, plenty of activity, newt activity, and frogs too, now that they're bigger and they're not going to get eaten by the newts. So let me show you. So that's stuff that I need to deal with. My calendulas and phacelia are coming back here, and all this mint. That mint's coming back. That's my phacelia, I think. Anyway, it's a wildflower. I'm very, very pleased with this campion. It's a glorious bed along here, and it's keeping the ground elder at bay. This is all old pallet wood that I need to deal with. I'm going to be chopping it up and stacking it somewhere neatly, so we can use it for the chimney, because we love doing baked potatoes on there. So this is the rest of the sedums that was from the sedum roof that was on my compost bay. It was far too wet. It was just full of wood lice eating all the rotten wood, and it was just way too wet for sedums. So underneath this top layer here, there's a couple of very porous bricks, because hopefully it'll just help it drain properly. These bulbs are coming up. Sorry, I don't remember what they're called, but they're really fantastic. They look like fireworks. I haven't moved these raspberries yet. It's a little bit late, so I might pop them in pots for my son, because his raspberries didn't strike. And I know that my grandson really loves soft fruit. So let me show you here. So I've started to dismantle my compost bay, because as I mentioned in the previous video, it's just it was too dry. I wasn't looking after it, and it had just become a really plush spot for rats, which I really don't want. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be taking them apart one by one and cutting the pallets in half, and doing half size here. So I'm going to be doing 3 raised beds along here, which will be half the size of the pallets. So there'll be 1 over there, and then I'm going to be putting 2 here. 2 will be raised beds, and 1 will be for this year's compost and food waste, but it's going to be open to the elements and it'll be much less easy for rats to sneak around and eat everything, which is, I mean, you know, they bioturbate and, you know, they do some good, but we've got way too many rats on here, so I really don't want to have anything to attract rats onto my allotment. I hope that made sense. So yeah, if you can imagine, those 2 will be taken apart. I'll be cutting them all in half, and making 3 small raised bed kind of compost bays along here. I'm very pleased that this jasmine is coming back. It took a long time, it took a couple of years for it to really get going. So this has been quite a long one. And I was going to talk more about the health benefits of gardening. But I think lots of people talk about that, so if you're into gardening you probably are aware of how beneficial it is to be out in the elements, listening to the bird song, watching the life go on and being part of it, which is very, very good for your health, being part of something. And I'm also hoping to be starting up a little group on the allotments, to like a mutual help group for people that work on their own, maybe give each other a couple of hours help a week, work in each other's plots, because there are some really big jobs, and I do them, but I've injured myself quite a few times, so it'll be a lot easier with other people helping, and I'm very happy to help other people on their allotments too. So I think that's all for now. So excuse me. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope this inspires you to get out gardening and just get out and enjoy nature. Thank you.